Welcome in. And we are looking at PC Replay Baseball 1991. I completed this project as well. I did 1941 the other day. Took care of both these projects over the last couple weeks. And so I want to kind of do a video for 91 as well. But in order to do that, to give the full story, we have to go back to October 4th. It's the last weekend of the season. And the American League is sewn up. AL East, AL West, NL East is all sewn up. The only thing in doubt right now is the National League East. And as you can see, Chicago, which had a losing record in real life, is tied for first place with Montreal. The Mets are back there in third. And then, of course, Pittsburgh, who won it in real life, is 5.5 back, and they're out of it as well. So it's a two-team race. Now I'm going to get to Pittsburgh later on about what happened because that's something that if you're watching this right now, you're thinking, how in the world did Pittsburgh not do so poorly? And we'll get that in a second. So but right now, this is kind of what happened. And I made a video about this when this first happened because it took me a while to put the playoffs. And the dilemma I had, and I kind of regret what I did in the end, but it still worked out pretty cool. And so let's kind of go into what happened. So Chicago and Montreal are tied up um, after Friday's games, October 4th. So you'll also notice too that the number of games is kind of wacky that they've played, and then we'll get that in a second too about what happened. Um, so let's kind of go through. So on Friday night, Pittsburgh lost to Montreal. Okay, the Cubs did not play. So that loss right there by Montreal to Pittsburgh, a very good team. Barry Bonds' 25th home run, um, put them in a tie with the Cubs. Now, I got to be honest with you, I'm kind of pulling for the Expos a little bit. Um, I didn't, I rolled some of these games as well, but I didn't manage them. I managed the Red Sox. And if you saw there, the Red Sox did not do a great job there. They kind of came undone pitching. They held in it for a little while. Pitching kind of lost it. So let's go to Saturday. So Saturday, Pittsburgh destroys Montreal 13-0. This Pittsburgh's really a good team, okay? Despite the fact that they're not doing great in the replay, the dice are starting to roll the way they're supposed to roll for them, and they're beating Montreal pretty good. The Cubs play a doubleheader, and they split the doubleheader against the Cardinals. They win 7-4, and then they lose 3-1. And that puts the standings with the Cubs a half game lead. So now we go to Sunday. What happens on Sunday? So Sunday, the Expos lose a game in 16 innings to Pittsburgh. Okay, Pittsburgh sweeps them the last weekend of the season. They beat them in 16 innings, 4-3. And they have the lead of 1-0. They're down 2-1, tied at 2-2. And then they score, go up 3-2 in the top of the 16th, and they blow about in the 16th inning. Bonds 2 for 7. Um, the whole deal. The Cubs also lose to the Cardinals. So here's the situation we have right now. The Cubs the season's over. They're up by a half game. Now the problem with this is the Cubs, okay, have not played 2 games this year. And in real life, they played 160 games because they were out of the pennant race, didn't make them up. Montreal only played 151 that year. And so I made a video when this happened about what should I do? Like, what do you do in this situation? do you replay it now in real life? If this happened in real life, if they went back and did this in real life, they replay the games, okay? And because you got to play one, all that stuff. And so I thought about just leaving it like this because I'm playing it as played. Because the issue is, if I do replay these games, those games never existed. You can't play them as played. You can't. There's no lineup for 'em. There's no lineup for 'em, okay? Um, and so I thought about it for a while, and you know what? I said I'm going to play the games. And part of it, I hate to be biased here, okay? I wonder if Montreal was up by a half game if I would have done so. But I like to see Montreal. We all have our little Montreal because of '94, what happened to them, and what happened to them in '81. You know, we kind of have that that soft spot for them, and the fact that they're no longer a franchise. I mean, I guess they're a franchise. They're in Washington now. So I play the games out. Okay, so let's go. The first thing I had to do was go to Monday, and the Mets were a game that the Cubs had to play. Okay, so the Cubs had to play two games, one against the Mets, one against the Expos. That's one of the games that got canceled, was because of rain or whatever happened otherwise. So, unfortunately for the Cubs, this is why it kind of sucked for them. Is that Dwight Gooden? I basically the AI still on ups, and Dwight Gooden pitched, and 91 Gooden isn't the greatest Gooden in the world, but he's pretty good, and they lose 3-1. So that puts our standings down all tied up again. So now we have a de facto playoff game, a one-game playoff. So once again, I guess this is a fair way of doing it in a way. And so, and if this happened in real, if this really did happen, if they tied, if the Cubs and Mets game was played in real life and in my replay back in, I think it was July, and the Mets had beaten them that day, and I ended the season with a tie, the Cubs and Expos, and as played, you got to play the game out, right? In the playoffs, I play. You can't play as play left in the playoffs because it's different teams. So, you know, I'm still kind of hemming and hawing about what I should have done, but this is what I did. And so now we have a one-game playoff. One-game playoff, and the Cubs win 7-6. Andre Dawson homers. 7-6 is the score. Dawson's 37th home run. And kind of fitting that Andre Dawson, the former Expo, is the one that puts the nail in their coffin at Olympic Stadium in Montreal. Um, Now, I don't know, because Olympic Stadium was an open set sort of thing too. See, so the game that I missed was in Montreal, and it got canceled for some reason. I'm not sure why they didn't play that game back in Montreal because Olympic Stadium was open. It was an open. They opened the roof back up, right? So you couldn't get rainouts in Montreal, correct? That's what I've did it too. So anyway, that's the game they missed. So that's that. So the Cubs shocked the world and win the NL East. So Toronto, Minnesota went to script in the ALCS. Cubs, Atlanta, in the NLCS. Now, I do want to look at the Pirates. Okay, so let's kind of scroll down here to the Pirates. And this is why I like this game, why I like dicey games, because there is luck involved. And you saw how Pittsburgh dominated Montreal in the last three games. So they're a really good team, but for some reason, they could not win close games. And in real life, they went 98-64 in real life. Okay. And in our replay, 83-79. So they were 15 games worse. That's a lot of games. But they went 20-30 in one-running games. 20-30. They should have been 91-71. They're expected to win-loss record based on their run differential in the replay was 91-71. And so that's pretty realistic. So they're in terms of the how the gameplay was. So like, there's always people who say, "Oh, it's unrealistic." Oh, but in terms of the run differential and what happened, they were a 91 win team, and that would have won the National League East. Still 7 games worse than what they did in real life, but if I looked up to the Pirates are really good in real life. 91. Let me kind of check and do that real quick. I checked this earlier before as well. Um, so the Pirates. I'm gonna pull this up real quick. I know you can't see this. This is bad YouTube videoing, but if I pulled up 91 for the Pirates, you're gonna see they were 98 and 64. And I want to see their standings real quick here too. So I'm trying to find the detailed standings here. That kind of does all this stuff too. Um, all right, so Pittsburgh, their Pythagorean win loss was 95-67. So they kind of played over their skis a little bit in real life. They were a 95 win team in terms of how they played. And in one run games, they were 27 and 22. So 27 and 22 for them, okay, and 20 and 30 here. Um, and that's kind of the big difference right now. So 10 games over or 10 games under and 5 games, that's 15 games right there. I mean, that's 15. That kind of explains that. So that's kind of how that happens. And I like that. And I saw somebody else play this season out with PCB play baseball, and Pittsburgh walked away with it. So for this season here, that's the story. That's the storyline. So it's kind of pretty cool. Couple of things real quick. Highlights. No hit games. We had 3 of them. Tommy Green threw one. He threw one in real life 91, not the exact day. I saw somebody, and I forgot who it was on Facebook, who said they played this season out. I think it was in PC Replay Baseball. It might have been in Action PC Baseball. But Tommy Green threw a no-hitter for them. He threw it on the exact day, the exact game. He played play lineups as well as he did in real life, which is pretty cool. Mike Moore threw one, and of course Charlie Huff threw one. He walked 10 guys. Look at this right here. He walked 10 guys. Okay. Struck out 10, gave up no hits, and won 2-0. How's that pretty good? 1-hit games. We saw Luis Aquino have one. Greg Maddux had one with the Cubbies. Um, this was a combined 1-hit game here. Jeff Carter, Brian. I mean, that was like a bullpen. I don't know who Jeff Carter is. Langston, Joe Hesketh. I pitched with one here. I kind of forgot about that game because it broke in the 5th inning. You're not really thinking about no hitters really in the 5th inning. But Joe Hesketh did well there. Ron Darling. I mean, a lot of one hitters. Good Lord. Mussina took it to the 9th inning. Moose. Maddox again. This was combined. Um, a 2nd inning double, so he was out of there early. And Clemens, okay, did this in the 3rd. Once again, not really what I call a no-hit bid. 3rd inning right there. And then Aquino did it in the last day of the season. And there. Um, Other thing, I'm trying to think if we have any hitting streaks here. Brian Harper, 26. Nelson, 24. Um, our MVPs. They name the MVPs. The AI does. And Kirby Puckett won the MVP of the American League. And now he's the best player in the best team. But that's the first one. I played 41 and 91, and 40. That 41 was pretty clear who the MVPs were. Cal Ripken won it in real life in 91. He had a good season as well. But Puckett won it. Frank Thomas was awful good. I mean, Frank Thomas, 340, 30, 125 was really, really good. And Puckett is not anywhere on the leader. Like, you can't even see him. Like, I'm just going to do AL batting real quick. In top 10 AL batting. And he came in three, four, six in batting average. Okay. He's nowhere on the end on base percentage right there. Slugging, he's not in the top 10. OPS, he's not in the top 10. Um, Runs scored, not in the top 10. Total bases, okay, which is a pretty good stat here. So three, four, five, he's six in total bases. Hits, he's third in hits. Doubles, he's not in the top 10 in doubles. Triples, not in the top 10 in triples. Home runs, not in the top 10 in home runs. Runs batted in, he's third, hit 120. Fielder, 161. I mean, Fielder could have had it I mean, look at his numbers here. He went 38 home runs, 161 right there. I would have personally looked at maybe Tartable. Um, I mean, their team didn't win, but Tartable had an unbelievable year, and of course, he'd go on and be a free agent signing for the Yankees. He had a pretty good year in real life too. He had 316, 31 home runs at 350 here for us in this replay. Um, Julio Franco won the batting title. But I mean, Puckett's not a horrible choice. I can see why, but not real clear. In the National League, it was Terry Pendleton, which I think he won it in real life in '91 as well. No, the Bonds won it in '91. Pendleton won it in '93. When did Terry Pendleton win? Yeah, so Pendleton won it. I'm all confused now. I know Pendleton got an MVP. 1991 NL MVP was Pendleton. Okay, he did win in '91. Um, so 327 right there. I look at OPS as kind of in terms of offensive players. I think OPS is the best measure, and he tied with John Kruk. So Kruk had a big year, and then Dawson. Part of me, if I had a vote, I'm Andre Dawson, given the fact that he led the Cubs to the NL East in a surprise. I think, I could lean that way with Dawson a little bit. 306, 37. I mean, he's a strong candidate right there. But Pendleton's not bad. Not bad at all on that. So that's how does that. So playoffs. Let's go to the playoffs now. So one thing I want to bring up, Cutter Historical commented on my last video on the 1941 completed project. And Peter Historical's got a great YouTube channel. Check him out. And he plays a lot of PC Replay baseball too. He says he plays it because of not because of me, but because he saw me playing it and he liked the game, which is great because it's my favorite game. This is my favorite game, and sometimes I don't think it gets enough. It gets enough love out there. Is that the right word? Um, and the more people that can play it, the better. The more people that buy it, the better because they produce more seasons and all those things. So I like the people over there too. So I want more seasons to come out. I need more 80 seasons. I need more 90 seasons to come out. Some more no more years to come out. So if that helps them, get seasons out quicker, more people to buy it, that's great for me. too. But I'm glad he's playing it. He asked a question though about how I put the playoffs up. Here's my one gripe with this game. The only gripe I have. I wish there was a button I could push right here. Okay. Some button, like second and 10 football has it, right? Some button I can push that says create playoffs based on based on the setup you have, the fact we're gonna have no wild cards, we're having, boom, and it happens. That's my only gripe of it. Only gripe right there. Only gripe. And I mean, I'm not a computer guy. I wouldn't think that'd be that hard to do, programming wise. I mean, there's probably a reason why they don't. I don't know. I might have to email Pete and ask him about that, like if there's a way they can do that. That'd be pretty cool. So, but it's real easy. So all you do is you exit out of here, okay, and you go into new postseason and you set it up. And so what I did, and you got to name it. If you're going to use the encyclopedia, you have to name it 1990, the season and playoffs. So 1991 playoffs. And I already done this, okay? And you set it up this way. And so what I did too is I went it by seedings, okay? And so the Braves were the 1 seed down here in the National League. The Braves have the best record in baseball, so they're the 1 seed. And then I put the Cubs as the 4 seed, and then the Twins were the 2 seed, and the Blue Jays were the 3 seed. And did it right here, boom, named it the ALCS. Okay, set it all up. You continue with this in 41, but you just did the 91 like this and so forth. And you do it. The one thing, and I'll set this up real quick too, because there's one thing you got to make sure you do. Um, so you got to go 91 Braves. I do 1 seed like this. The Cubbies, the Miracle Cubbies, the 4 seed like this. Toronto is up here as the 3 seed, and then the Twinkies are the 2 seed. Boom. I'm going to call this LCS, World Series. I was going to say test. You name it down to win playoffs because I already got it in there. Okay, do that. Boom. Hit save. Now, this is important. So, you want to kind of how you're going to set this up now. So, um, you can go in terms of players. So, I always go place on final team. All right, place final team. And the DH rule. So, you want to go DH by original team. All right. And what that will do is when you get to the World Series, well, first of all, the ALCS will have a DH, NLCS will not. And you get to the World Series, they'll work it out where you have it set up that way. Okay. And you create the postseason, boom, and there you go. All right. And so that's all you got to do. So we'll do it real quick. Boom. There it is. Test. Boom. There you go. And you can always check it too and kind of see how it is. Boom, boom, boom. All right. So let me get out of there. If you need to erase it, delete it, right click, delete, it's gone. All right. Let's go to 91 playoffs. What I did. So here we go. Oh, so game one, Twins take it with the Blue Jays 3-2. Braves take the game one. You see Lee Brandt beats Maddox, a little foreshadowing. Maddox against his future team in Fulton County. Penalty on a home run. Alejandro Pena, who the Braves picked up from the Dodgers, from that, he was lights out there. So 1-0 there. Game two, the Blue Jays come back. Dave Parker, the Cobra, goes deep. And the Cubs even things up 11-9. Sean Bosky, the pitcher, homered in that game. And Rick Mailer came and got the loss. The Braves got so beat up that they brought in Mailer just to kind of piece things together. So both series are 1-1. They both take a day off. They go to game three. The Twins win 7-4. Kirby Puckett, the AL MVP, homers in that one. Chili Davis homers again. 2-1. And a classic one, the Cubs. Rick Wilkins, it's a big home run. It's second of the series. And they win in 13 innings, 5-4. Remember that game, folks. Remember that game. Keith Slocum, of course, the Red Sox traded him back in the day. George Bell homers. Cubs up 2-1. Go to game four. And the Twins win in 12. And this was a backbreaking game. Puckett homers again. Joe Carter homers twice. And the Twins win 5-4, flip 3-1. The Braves come back and blow out the Cubs 11-3 to tie it up 2-2. David Justice homers, Jeff Blauser homers, and that one. Glavine gets the win over Rick Sutcliffe. We go to game five, and the Twins take care of the Blue Jays 9-1. The Twins are really good in this game. They take care of the Blue Jays 9-1. Chili Davis is the fourth home run of the series. Maddox against his future team, rematch of game one. This time he gets to win 5-4. Luis Salazar, remember that name, hits a big home run. And Hector Villanueva with a pinch hit home run. And the Cubs have this magic going on. So I want to say, I'm going to give it away. Up 3-2. The Braves come back and win it 5-3. John Smoltz comes up big. Luis Salazar homers again. Pena comes in, shuts the door, and we're going to game seven. Chicago and the Braves from Fulton County Stadium to see who will play the Twins in the World Series. And who did it? The Cubs. The Cubs. 8-2. Salazar homers again. He broke it open with this huge home run. He homered in the second inning after Avery, 1 on, and it broke things open. The Cubs got 5 runs in the ninth inning. It was a close game. It was 3-2, and they broke it open. So the Cubs are going to the World Series against the Twins. And in game one, what happens? They win game one in 12. A classic. Andre Dawson, who thinks he's still an NL MVP, homers. Rick Wilkins homers again. Bullpen, Les Lancaster out of relief gets to win. Cubs up 1-0. They're trying to break the curse years before they did it in real life. The Twins come back 3-1. Kevin Tapani with a good game. George Bell homers for the third time in the playoffs. We go to game three in Wrigley. And the Twins win a great one. Scott Erickson was lights out. Was it 1-0? Rick Aguilera comes on with a save. Twins up 2-1. Cubs in trouble, but the Cubs bounce back 6-5. This is a George Bell game. George Bell homers twice. He's got 5 homers now in the postseason. Puckett homers again. This time Aguilera can't hold it. Shades of 86 in the Mets against Dave Henderson. And Dave Smith out of the pen gets the win. We are tied up at 2 for game 5. Pivotal game 5, and the Cubs win again. The magic of the Cubs. Maddox was lights out, doesn't get the win, but he pitches incredible in this one. And the Cubs win in 12, 2-1. They are 1 win away from being World Series champions. And that brings us to game 6. And the Cubs do it. They pull off the miracle. They win 4-2. Sean Bosky was a man. shuts down the Twins on 2 hits, and this Twins offense is really good. And George Bell hits his sixth home run of the postseason, and the Cubs, who did not have a winning record in the real life 1991, found a way to win the National League East, held on for dear life, upset the Braves, the team with the best record in baseball, and then took down the Twins, who won the World Series in real life in 91. A magical story, a really fun replay. I had a ball playing this replay. I really enjoyed my Red Sox playing them. It's funny. The 1991 Red Sox are not what you call a great team, but I'm 16 years old back then, and I just remember those guys and that team. And I had a blast. I knew their weaknesses. I knew the things that would kind of hurt them, but they were fun to play with. Fun to play with. I hung in there for a little while. When Jeff Gray went out, Jeff Gray, of course, had a stroke in real life, and of course, I'm playing as play, so he left. And when he left, it had a domino effect in my pitching staff. I was one guy short in the bullpen I could count on, and they got taxed. And then it just kind of led to, like it happens in real baseball, we just imploded. We were up there for a while in the race for a little bit. Let me pull that back up a little bit. Let me go back to 91 season real quick, and if you guys want to turn it off, you can. I mean, I'm not holding you here, but I want to kind of show the Red Sox a little bit. Give you get an idea of the Red Sox and kind of if we're in first place. So I think we were in first place. We're in first place on May 10th. All right, first place on May 14th. First place for a bunch of days: May 23rd, May 25th, May 31st, June 2nd, June 25th. Look at that. July 5th, we're in first place. We're in first place July 5th. High for first there, and I think that's it. So July 5th, we were in first place. So it's fun. We were in the race with a team that could win the AL East if everything went right. The Blue Jays were really good, but the Blue Jays were not invincible. And had a two and a half game lead was our biggest lead. Things were kind of rolling there. So anyway, tons of fun. Love this game. If you haven't played it before, pick it up. PC Replay Baseball. I don't make any money off of it. But thanks for watching, guys. Have a great, great day. Have a great night. Go Red Sox. Go Gamecocks. Have a great day.